Check, check. Good morning. Oops. Good morning, everyone. How are we doing? Beautiful morning on a Tuesday. Good to see you all joining me once again. Happy Mecca Day, says Tiana. Yeah, today Meccas are revealing, so let's see how that plays out. This song is too dancey for me at 11 p.m. at night. My morning, so I'll put a dancey song in the mornings. Hey, Maddie, Mr. McSiege, how you doing? Good for starting the day in Australia. Yes. What's up? What's up? Good morning. Good morning. Good morning from London. The feeling that I didn't win Mechaverse raffle is still eating me inside. Don't know how to dust it off. Says Massiesh McKay. Yeah, it is a bit of a crappy feeling. I don't think many people would have won them. A lot of people would have just bought them on the secondary market. And I think Mechaverse is going to set the standard for a lot more really cool looking projects. They only get better in time. So it'll be really awesome. I'm sure like it's not going to be the only one that will come out. Oh snap! I was really getting into that music, Maddie. Why'd you cut it off? We'll put it back at the end. Liam, good morning. Martins, good morning, good morning, good morning from Sydney. Good morning. Practice and apply. I like that username. Good evening from Germany. What's up, my boy? Finally got to watch you, bro. I always miss these streams. Today is the day I win the giveaway. Yes. Let's see, Vino. Let's see if you win that giveaway. Good Mecha morning from Brizzy. Mutant Cats at 1.5 ETH. David straight away banging with the NFT alpha straight away. It's been like just 2 minutes. What's up? I usually have to catch the replay. Mechaverse was around 50 to 1 odds. Yeah, look, if you would have won Mechaverse, Insta 20k USD basically. Good morning, Maddie from Belgium. Good morning, Maddie. I added you on LinkedIn. Kevin says, Kevin, I barely use my LinkedIn. I'll take a look and I'll accept you. LinkedIn, I just get a lot of spam. I don't know. For us, the crowd is usually Twitter. Twitter, I get a lot of spam in my DMs as well. But you know, it's a little bit. I'm not sure. LinkedIn just isn't the right demographic for me. They're not degen enough. Maybe in time. Mutant Cat's already 65% staked. Interesting. A lot of Mutant Cat talk right now. Good morning from New Zealand. Long-term Mechaverse is going to be crazy, right? Says Wolf. I think, yeah, look, Mechaverse is an interesting one. This is the first time upon release that I've experienced, and maybe there's been other projects before, but this is one of the first times where upon release, the distribution is already really good. And it's also obviously one of, if not the most anticipated or hyped NFT project pretty much ever. Long term, it will be interesting how it plays out, because I'm not sure if it will just stay relevant based on good aesthetics, because aesthetics will continue to get better. There will definitely be projects that look better and cleaner than Mechaverse, 3 months, 6 months down the line. I'm sure it's already in the works. So the question is, how can they keep being relevant? I think some people will definitely use them as like genuine avatars. I can see myself using it as an avatar. So, and other people doing the same. So I think that whole like post reveal, people will start using them as avatars, and maybe there'll be some really big sales that will bring in more interest. But it will be interesting. Like, will prices drop before the reveal? A lot of people are just trying to flip them, or will prices hold up? It is one of the first time I've seen such a demand on a project. So I'm actually just watching the activity. It's a good learning curve for all of us. Hey, Maddie, how's the family? Finally picking up a Medici after minting a Moody Pro and flipped it to get my key at last. Nice one, Cash, man. I'm honored. Happy to have you. We have so much planned for the key. I'm gonna say this here first, because I actually haven't said it on Twitter, or we haven't announced it in the Medici Discord. But if you have a Medici, you will be able to use it in Decentraland's music festival. We have an official partnership with Decentraland where they've got some really big musicians, and you'll find out exactly who that will join and that will be performing, and we'll be doing a backstage VIP AMA with every single one of them, I believe. And that area, that deck, is only accessible if you have a Medici. So you'll be using it as a ticket in Decentraland to enter and ask questions to these celebrities. So it'll be cool. It's a fun experiment and another use case for the Medici, one of many things that we're doing, right? Also, I've hired a really good researcher. he is on the ball. I've also hired a great content writer. So we're going to be putting research reports and research snippets of basically every good NFT project or every NFT project in that Discord, in the Medici Discord. And it's going to be public to start off with, but of course it's going to get into that Medici only section. But another value thing that we're working on. So a lot of stuff in the works. That's only 2 or probably 15, 20 things that we're working on. Will there be a VFriends X Medici collab? I'm in touch with Gary. I'm down to do something. Let's see. We're still quite busy building our projects, so maybe at some time. Good morning from Melbourne, says Samuel. Check out Persona World if you have the chance. I was one of the lucky one for the Mecha raffle. Congratulations, the flashback. Good on you, man. You've got those avatars. Looks familiar. Forgot what they're called. Yo, hi, have a look at NFT teams, real founder, super transparent project, a real founder. I put a tweet out the other day where I said that I'm down if it's a real founder pretty much straight away, because real people behind projects are very rare, right? I feel like if you're a real person behind a project, then you're kind of putting your integrity on the line. Because if you fail, not so much if you fail, but if you run away with the money, then legally people will chase you and hunt you down, right? But as long as there's a real person behind the project, I feel a bit more secure investing in NFT projects. What's on the agenda today, bro? Got my notepad now. Yeah, we're gonna go through Super Rare. We're gonna go through Sandbox. We'll go through a bit of Genies. We'll pull out some stuff on Twitter that I talked about and some other stuff. Tell us more about the music festivals. I will do it when Decentraland announce it. It'll be in 1 or 2 days they'll announce it, and then we'll just go crazy with telling you guys what we got planned. What do you think about Nico official? All right, guys. I'm gonna be here forever reading your comments. Let me just read a couple more. Hi, Maddie. Are you looking for more towards gaming-based NFTs for the bear market? I'm always looking for any sort of NFTs. Medici Edition 2, Artifact Studios can let you buy exclusive, but I am so late to buy at a good price. Struck out on metaverse, but hopeful for Artifact auction. Yeah, I think Artifact would be really cool. All right. Where is the giveaway link, says Mike. You are right. Where is that giveaway link? Let me just message the team and let them know. On a quick note, guys, I am obviously very, very, very bullish on Artifact. All right. All right. We'll that should be that giveaway link should post soon. But I'm extremely bullish on Artifact Studios. You guys know, Artifact Studio are just in my opinion, maybe I'm biased because I have a lot of their stuff, but I just feel like they really, really understand utility and value. There's 2 things they understand really well. And when I say value doesn't mean just money. Value means like, how do you serve and keep your community excited beyond the money, right? Money just comes and goes. If money is all this industry has, it won't last. There has to be some depth. So I feel like Artifact Studio understand that depth part of things on how to create value and keep a community engaged beyond just money. And that involves, taking them to the metaverse, doing wearable drops, that involve doing merch drops, or allowing you to use that specific NFT to mint another NFT, which is what they've done with their let me just go here. That's what they did with their previous NFT. So Artifact Studio actually started, I'm not sure if you guys were around at the time, but they actually started with the Artifact and Ferocious collaboration, which was this shoe that they did. Wait, maybe search it here. Yeah, which is this shoe that they did. There's the link for the giveaway. We'll go through that a little bit later. These shoes right here, right? So you could have bought these shoes for a few $1,000s on Nifty Gateway. They started on Nifty Gateway, and I think they sold like $2 or $3 million worth. It was crazy. And those shoes, they came with an NFT, and you can see the NFT right here, right? This is basically the NFT. It was a little, very simple rotating GIF of a 3D shoe. That's all it was. And that was $3,000. But the cool thing about it was that came with physicals. So you can see this is all the physical shoes that you could redeem it for. So technically you were getting 2 products. You were getting an NFT which has its own digital value, and then you were getting a physical, which, I mean, historically that has value, right? I mean, you keep that, and in time, if that becomes iconic, that will go on to have its value. But it actually came with a bunch of shoes, and you can see I've claimed all mine. I think I bought 17, 18 at the time, and then I claimed all these for the shoes. What I didn't anticipate, so I actually bought them just for the shoes. I bought them for the shoes. It also came with a Ledger Nano, so I actually came with a Ferro printed Ledger Nano, which I actually don't use because I don't buy. I only use ones that I officially buy from Ledger Nano. Um, but and it came with this infinity screen, so it came with a bunch of different physical stuff, which was kind of new at the time. Like not many people were doing these digital physical collection groups that you were buying. What I didn't anticipate was Artifact Studios saying that if you own the NFT, then you can mint future releases. For example, the Avatar drop. So that I had no idea that the NFT would go on to be worth so much, right? And now you can see like those NFTs that I have, all those shoes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 shoes. They're all now mintable for a Clone X, right? You got 17 of those, and then I have this drip thing, and then I have 7 trophies, and I got one of these things that came free. This came for free along with these shoes. So this alone basically paid for all the shoes. And then I've got a drip, and then I've got like 1 edition 2 that I can use to claim. But I've got 3 more shoes here. But what I'm saying is that Artifact Studio know how to drive value in the sense of they know what to bring value to the NFT long term. And this is what I'm talking about in investing in projects that know or understand this concept and will continue to deliver this concept. It's been like a while since these shoes were released. I think like maybe 5, 6, 7 months. So it's taken them some time, maybe even longer. I think it's been like 8 to 9 months. No. I think it's been like 10 months. It was a while ago. Actually, it was last year. It was end of last year, I believe, that they did the shoe collab. I mean, it's taken a good 10 months to a year, I think, for that to come out. But, you know, in time you learn, and any project that sticks around will continue to deliver this sort of value. So, as you guys know, I am super, super bullish on the Clone X. So I'm really looking forward to, I think I can mint like 70 or 80 Clone X's. So very, very bullish to see what happens there. And the good thing is there's 20,000 of them. So the community is going to be double the size as the usual ones. So it'll be interesting, right? I mean, very anticipated as well. So we'll see how they deliver. I keep thinking I need to just buy out the floor every time for Artifact Studio when they do this Avatar project, because I just feel like they'll continue, just like how they delivered value here, right? These were like, I think these reached a price point of 1.5K or 2K, and then now they're sitting at 45K each. But if you know, if they understood value to bring, like, they understood how to bring value to a shoe that seemingly didn't have value long term apart from just the brand, but so the avatars I would assume would have, they would know how to bring value to that. So maybe they'll allow that to mint the next cool thing that pops up next year from now, right? Maybe avatars are in right now. Maybe next year it's like virtual land is a thing. Who knows, right? I think I wouldn't be surprised if Artifact go on to do their own virtual world. I think they mentioned that actually. Artifact and Ferocious drop was end of February, says Crypto Eno. Was it? Was it really end of February? So I remember Ferocious doing a January 1st, which was his birthday. He did a drop there that did really well. I was pretty sure this came before that, or maybe it came after. Okay, well, February. So February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September. 7 months, 7 to 8 months. Cool. All right, epic. Let's keep going, guys. Let's talk about what we have in store today, and then we'll talk a little bit about what you guys have going on. But in the short term, there is a giveaway, as usual, pinned at the top of the chat. It should take you to our Discord. So it'll enter you, it'll take you to our Discord where you can go and check out the giveaway. So we have, once you're in there, then you find Medici giveaways, which I always have an issue finding. Where is it? Live stream chat. I can never find a private deck. No. Depth. Nope. Maddie stream giveaways. Always a challenge. Captain's quarters. We just have way too many channels. But Captain's quarters, there you go. It's free for everyone to join. You'll win an Astro friend if you win this giveaway. So in 23 minutes, it's going to spit out a winner. So good luck to whoever wins that. Right? It's like $200 each time. All right. Let's get rid of Discord. I would love to read your comments, guys, but let's go through some news. All right. The 200k sand giveaway, 5 ways to win sand. So sand token is the native token of our buddies at the Sandbox. So the Sandbox is a virtual world where you can kind of build these games and experiences. You can see it's starting to pick up a bit of traction. I think they're still in sort of private beta slash not really out yet. And you can see what's going on. Looks pretty dope. I mean, it looks pretty cool. The lands are really, really big. I know that for sure. And you can, it's obviously like Minecraft. And anyway, they've got a competition that's come out. And if you are part of the Medici community, you know that we've got 576 or 556 pieces of land in the Sandbox. So we're going to build a ton of experiences when that's open to public. Beast Quest, blah, blah, blah. So they've got some sort of a giveaway. So 5 ways to win sand and build your kingdom. What do they say here? Each giveaway will be revealed daily over the next few days. The 200k sand giveaway event will start today, October 7th, and will end November 4th. Winners will be announced. Mandatory requirements: have a TSB account to qualify. Fill out this form. With sand, you can build and play. Yes, day one. NFT art competition, the genesis of all creation in the metaverse. 45,000 sand tokens, 45,000 sand tokens. All artists are invited to participate. I guess they're trying to participate must retweet and like this post, tag 2 co-NFT artists. The NFT must be 3D, either still images or GIFs. It should include the Sandbox logo, 1 entry per creator. And these are all the stuff you can win. So it looks like you can win. That looks epic. Look at that. Here's an example of an art on how your metaverse would look like. That is super cool. Zoom in there. I love this sort of concepts where it's like a complete fantasy world of what the, just a world without physics or boundaries would look like. Super, super cool. I love this art. Day 2, let there be sand, blah, blah, blah. So it looks like there's a bit of a competition. I'm not sure if you guys are artists, etc. But there you go. Try that out. Sand or Decentraland or the future metaverse sort of projects will be using these sort of competitions and giveaways. And even we've got one for the Medici coming out soon where you'll be able to do this sort of, there'll be plenty of giveaways and stuff there. I like the Legoland. Legoland looks pretty cool. Yeah, so that is that. Let's keep going. Over 90% of the total NFT sales this year have been on Ethereum. Total Ethereum alone has done 5 billion. Flow done 0.5 billion. Polygon at 0.16. Wax at 0.1, so 100 million there. I mean, it's still quite impressive, right? 0.1 billion is $100 million. So $100 million worth of volume. Then BSC and Tezos picking up. So what's the green and what's the yellow? So total sales, total traders. A lot of sales, but not very many traders for Tezos. Quite interesting. An interesting metric. This one's got a lot of traders, but not very sales. What's going on here with BSC? This looks a bit phony, don't you think? Wax has a lot of sales, not many traders. And then you got Ethereum, Flow, etc. All right, right. Well, Ethereum being the king, yes, that doesn't mean that there's not opportunity in the other ones. I know people that have become millionaires from NBA Top Shots on Flow that have done really, really well on obviously Solana. Solana's not even here yet, so we'll have to wait till Solana pops up here. Will Ethereum stay the king? I think yes. Just because that's where a lot of the high value NFTs exist at the moment. But at the end of the day, like, I'm not sure when it comes to microtransactions or it comes to like the average person getting involved. I just feel like in the long term, they're just going to be put off by large gas fees, right? $300 for transactions these days on Ethereum. As much as I like Ethereum, it's a killer. It's a deterrent. It is something that stops the NFT Ethereum industry a little bit, stops the growth of it. So yeah, it isn't It is a bit annoying. It is a bit annoying, and that's why Solana and BSC chains and Tezos as well and Wax has started to pick up. Polygon is trying to solve the problem, and I guess it is to a certain degree. But it's a little bit annoying that what's on Polygon you can't put it on Ethereum mainnet, and it's sort of two different marketplaces. It gets a bit weird. So yeah, it's not exactly that. Do you plan secret adult area within the Medici Sandbox area? I don't know. I don't think so. Yeah, I don't know, Stan. Don't know if we can legally do that. Just kidding. Ethereum has the network effect, then add layer 2. GT says, yeah, it totally does. It totally does, right? What I've kind of kept myself open to the thoughts of is not allowing myself to think that one certain project cannot be overtaken by something else. Ethereum totally is by far one of the most secure, if not the most secure blockchains. It is the most innovative. It has the most traction by far. It has a massive head start. Can it be beaten? I mean, everything is possible, right? If it does get beaten, the chain that beats it, people will make enormous amounts of money with that. So I keep an open mind, but yes, you are right. Massive network effect. ETH 2.0, let's get it soon. Totally, I'm dying for ETH 2.0. Immutable X, yes, Immutable X is coming, right? So Immutable X, does that mean it's going to be similar to Matic, where it's a separate, seemingly a separate chain, or it looks like, or can we actually trade just pretty much on the Ethereum net, mainnet on IMX? How's that whole thing going to work? All right. 10 avatar projects with game use cases. So Play to Earn online magazine. Now Play to Earn is a very good magazine. So I'm you know, whatever Play to Earn puts out, it's pretty damn good. I know they've been in the space for a while. So let's see what they've got in store. CloneX, from the design tables of the metaverse fashion, we all know CloneX is obviously Artifact Studios. 20,000 NFT avatars will be fully 3D custom modeled, ready to be used in a variety of virtual worlds. Details aren't finalized yet, but judging by Artifact Studios' history with Decentraland and the full avatar support of Somnium Space, we can fill in the dots. Of course, VR chat, Webaverse, and other virtual environments would also work. CloneX isn't here yet, but this is one to keep your eyes on for sure. That's a good point, actually. Maybe you'll be able to take your CloneX avatar to Alt VR, VR chat, etc. Bored Ape Yacht Club, we all know what's going on. There will be 3D models with every NFT holder. There will be Basie VX apes. Voxies, yes, they've got them in games. So I'm not sure if you guys have seen the Voxy games, but it is the ability to play your Voxies in this sort of strategy style game. And I thought that was pretty cool. Fluff World. So I've been hearing quite a few things about Fluff World. I have been thinking about this being a lot more than what it seems. I know that the devs are quite switched on, but 3D models, yes, ready to be used in support in virtual environments. In addition, Fluffs will gain AI, will have their own virtual world, and they will receive their own token. Mycelium. Breeding is the first step of Fluff World Play to Earn economy, but things won't stop there. Characters owners have full commercial rights to the NFT as well, opening the ecosystem up for new business relationships. Vox, Gala Games, yep, so Gala Games is doing something there. Avagotchi, we all know them. Habbo Avatars. Mecha Crew, here we go. 9750 randomly generated NFT avatars that come with direct utility in the metaverse. The project will launch in November, and it will feature some licensed brand traits as well. Good pickup, yep. It has got a licensed brand in here. We haven't announced who it is. You're all going to be blown away. It is definitely one that no one's expecting to bring into the space. Everyone's going to be like, holy shit, that's crazy. These 3D Medicrew characters will be compatible with an upcoming debut game scheduled to release in 2022. Very good research, which is led by Maddie, aka DCL Blog. Will launch a pet project as well. Yeah, we are not going to stop building on the Mecha Crew. It's going to be our lifetime project along with the Medici. So Medici gets Mecha Crew. Meta Crew will do a lot more things. Hashmask. So what is Hashmask doing? In August, the Hashmask team announced to move the project into a gaming and virtual world. The team will commission the development of a video game which uses either the original artworks of the airdropped NFT avatars based on the NFT art pieces, even though further details around the game have not been revealed, likely in development. So they've said they're doing something. They haven't really said much or revealed much about it. Meebits, we all know they're just 3D skins that you can take in different places. So your digital 3D identity basically. So yeah, people are definitely looking at utility. I mean, 6 months ago when Bored Ape Yacht Club launched, and all these sort of copy paste Bored Ape Yacht Club style projects were launching, no one was thinking utility at all. There wasn't even a roadmap. They were just basically, here's our randomly generated monkeys or giraffes or donkeys or whatever, and uh, none of them really were thinking beyond like what would give these value apart from just releasing them. And now it's pretty cool that there's quite a lot that are looking at this sort of utility thing, right? And an avatar should really be an NFT that is a ticket to enter a world of experiences that these projects are going to go on to build for you. And that's what's starting to happen. So it would make sense to just get one of each of these if you can afford it. I mean, it's quite expensive, but who knows what these projects will go on to build. Super Rare token has done a big spike up. They got listed on Binance. So they were relatively quiet for a while, or going sideways for a while. They dipped to $1, and they went to $1.40, and then boom, hit $2.44. I think it hit a max of $3.65. Wow, hit $3.65 in the last 24 hours. Up from $1.35, it's kind of settling down at $2.44. So Super Rare got listed on Binance. I'm not sure which one of you guys was on top of that. Binance will list Super Rare and will be open for trading pretty much straight away. But yeah, any Binance listings for these sort of tokens end up doing really well. But I think NFT tokens are ripe for listings because these CoinSpot, Binance, etc., they know that the demographics are looking for NFT tokens or projects. So I wonder what the next one's going to be. Wax digital auction launches with legendary 101 Princess Bride NFT. Collectors, it's time to take NFT to the next level. You may have seen auctions on other chains offering super rare, one-of-a-one kind NFTs that have been known to turn into small fortunes. Demand has been off the charts for these one-of-one collectibles. Wax is jumping into the fray with a dynamic auction house featuring NFTs from leading brands and artists, and offering you the opportunity to bid on a spectacular one-of-a-kind digital art piece. The Princess Bride leads the way on October 14th at 1 p.m. ET. Wax is launching its very first one-on-one auction. The premier NFT will feature an exclusive The Princess Bride digital collectible that spotlights a clip from one of the most iconic moments in the film. Thrilling weekly auction. So it looks like every Thursday, Wax will place a new unique NFT up for auction, right? So they're trying to do more exclusive auctions. Wax have done cards and things in the past. They've got some pretty good brands. I know they had Street Fighter, they have got Tops, they had some iconic brands and personalities. But rarely, or if not ever, have they done like this sort of one-on-one style thing. I reckon they should start an art platform. I don't see why they wouldn't start an art platform. So they're doing one-on-one auctions. Let's see how that goes down. Wax has definitely seen some volume. At the end of the day, they've done, according to that chart, a good $100 million worth of volume on Wax. I personally do not do much on Wax, but I do know William Quigley is pretty switched on. I like that founder, and the sort of content that he puts out is definitely on the ball. So curious to know what they roll out with. Whale Shark, our buddy Whale Shark, Muhammad Chogri. What's up, man? Good to see you tuning in. Whale Shark, guys. Whale Shark is a personality that has been in the NFT space for a while. I actually met Whale Shark back when he bought a ton of Gods Unchained cards, and those trading cards, or that project, was quite popular back in the day, with a lot of people buying packets and opening those packets and getting different style of cards. And I know Whale Shark was just splurging on NFTs like there were just no tomorrow. I remember coming across his profile and he had every diamond legendary, which was like 2,000 Ethereum. And back then I was like, holy crap, that's just nuts. Like, how does someone have this much money? So Whale Shark went on to buy a ton of stuff in the space and kind of make a vault where he tokenized the vault, etc. But in this announcement, looks like he's partnered with Genies. one thing about Whale Shark is he stayed anonymous, right? He stayed anon, apart from his voice, and he's made a very big effort to stay anon. But there is this Whale Shark, Whale X Genies. So they did a collaboration with Genies. Genies being a platform that is doing 3D avatars to represent people. So they're of the opinion that people will go on to represent themselves in 3D forms, and these avatars are what people will be using to represent will be using across, like, say, TikTok or Instagram, etc. They'll be using the same avatar. So I know they've got Justin Bieber, etc. on board. Whale Shark looks like he's joined up, and here's a tweet from him. And for all my new followers, welcome to the Mind of Whale Shark. Stay a while and maybe we'll both learn something new. Pose courtesy of Genies. Good night. So it looks like, there you go. He's got some animations, and I think he's used this in an interview as well. Somewhere up here, there's an interview of him talking in using that avatar. Where is it? I can't find it. Yeah, I don't know exactly where it is. But yeah, that is interesting. I am an investor in Genies. I bought their equity in their earlier round, so it is awesome to see them grow and become a great company. I'm sure they'll go on to do very, very well. Now Bender, who makes some pretty good threads, actually. I'm pretty cool with the stuff that he tweets. I learn a lot. He says Bamboozlers launched with a bang, shot to a 4 ETH floor off launch, then down to a 1 ETH floor. The launch came with a lot of criticism, so here is a detailed look from someone who knew the most about this project. Me, I found it 24 hours early. Here's how and what happened next. I put a lot of effort into this space to push it in the direction that is better for everyone, especially the person with a 0.1 ETH in their wallet who can't afford a gas. An average user DM'd me earlier Friday asking for help finding a project they thought was going to be big. I was told to tell no one what I found to protect the sanctity of a stealth launch. I honored that, even cutting out my IRL friends. Sorry, Doobs. I'll make it up someday. Okay, cool. They told me it would launch in the next few days and involved pandas. So I got to work and promised I'd deliver. I set up monitoring tools. Now I did not know that you can get this intense with yeah, I had no idea you can get this intense with tracking stuff. It's crazy. I can see these avatars being in DCL fits their art style. Yeah. Right, guys. So yeah, I had no idea you can track things to this degree. So look what Bender did, right? So he said, I set up some monitoring tools for newly registered domains involving the word panda. I scanned certificates that were registered using census. So, I mean, now he's tracking domains or registry of domains that say panda. Next, I set up a monitoring for major Twitter accounts that might find it before I did. Everyone that I thought could find it first was being tracked using a Twitter bot. Anything they followed, I knew about. So he was looking at anything that they followed. I scoured Rinkeby testnet, knowing that the devs had to be testing minting somewhere. Scrolling deep through the activity page, I saw mints of pixelated pandas. This is how I found their test contract and subsequently pulled the ABI from them here. I started mapping addresses that interacted with the contract and addresses that interacted with those addresses. It's like following a complex spider web. I put these addresses into a monitoring bot to track every transaction they made so I could follow them. Here is a small subset. With monitoring setup, I started picking apart the testnet OpenSea collection and looking for keywords that continued to pop up. Bamboozled was one. At this point, any movement that the devs made, I was able to follow. That's crazy. So he followed the domain names, registry. He followed people that potentially came across the project. Then he followed the testnet. Then he followed the Ethereum wallets that were that had activity got to do with the testnet. Then he found the name Bamboozled. I started setting up monitors to track newly verified contracts on Etherscan and contain the words bamboo, panda, bear, bamboozle, and peaking. I wasn't confident I had the deploy wallet for mainnet, so I wanted to be safe. Telegram monitors work very, very well. The devs redeployed their test contract 7 to 9 times and tested functions using different wallets. Anyway, okay, cool. So there's all this sort of stuff that was set up. Each time pan address available with chain, I added the contract. Yes, sale went live and gas spiked way too hard. I minted 4. My wallet limit 1 at 80 Gwei, and then 3 at 1,000 Gwei. Right, so we minted 3 at 1,000 plus Gwei. I saw Mev Collector minting from several wallets. I assumed he had found it by watching Etherscan when it verified. So how did the stealth launch turn to a gas war? Mev Collector joined the Discord and tons of users flooded in after, but no one followed the Twitter account. These weren't big CT influencers or whales, they were normal people. I suspect Mev runs a paid Discord where he shares alpha that he works hard to find, which is normal. Now the mint sells out, people FOMO buy, and CT at large has no idea what happened. So I think this is where he starts to explain what went down. The mint sells out, people FOMO buy, and CT at large has no idea what happened. Here comes the FUD that the project was stolen from Anonymous, which CT copes with something having slipped past them. But this argument is irrational. Here's why. So he's got some of this. The MIT license allows this type of usage, but people quickly said that the word mice was in the contract, so it was a low effort rip. However, if you read the code, the devs credit Anonymous and use comments to describe the new functionality. I encourage you to check out the full set of contract differences. Yes, CT failed to follow rule number 1. Do your own research. I don't run private discords where I share alpha to people who pay me, and I don't know who does. However, I do believe that the owners of private discords will front run their members for their own gain. I won't confirm that, but it is my belief. I've had people tweeting my transactions at me today trying to prove I was part of this supposed pump and dump. But I encourage you to take a look at the blockchain is public, blah, blah, blah. My OpenSea, yes. My first mint was immediate, then I waited for a second to confirm, blah, blah, blah. At the end of the day, this wasn't malicious and there is no secret CT cavil. My full involvement transaction summary. If you made this far, this was insight to how I find projects with no info and what happened. However, be careful who you trust. Basically, I think what he's saying, is that it pumped to 4, dumped to 1, and that is why basically it had a ton of people front running it. So I guess this sort of like alpha and kind of one downside of having a group of people that everyone shares info to, or you do an announcement and you let people know about something, is that they have the mindset that they start to think, and we all do this, right? We're all like, oh, wait a second, like this project, no one knows about this project yet. If we buy some, we should be able to sell it in the future when everyone else knows about it. The crap thing about that, or the thing that might not work out, is if you buy into a project and it does go viral, it does go public, but it doesn't go viral, or people just don't really pick up on it, doesn't really do anything, and within that 2 to 5 to 1 to 2 week period, then it pretty much dies a slow death. And all those people that bought like thousands, if not hundreds of them, will pretty much just start selling them and the price will drop considerably. You got all these people, yes, it will sell out because everyone's kind of hyped on grabbing them and basically reselling them to the crypto Twitter at large. But when that doesn't happen, when that opportunity starts to feel like it's passing you by, then it kind of dies out, right? So it looks like that's what happened here. And that's why even with the Medici Discord and even in different places, we kind of hesitate to just put out information unless it's a very detailed report. I have a wallet tracker that picks up what I'm buying, but I try and jump back in there and kind of explain why I bought it to make sure people don't FOMO in. But people do FOMO in sometimes. I should be better with going back in there and kind of telling people why I'm doing that. But yeah, I think you definitely have to be careful with who says what and what comes out, because if you're not, like, this is one of the things, right? If I'm not buying because I genuinely enjoy what I like there has to be a part of me that enjoys that collector NFT project or whatever it is. If there's no part of me that enjoys that visually or what they have planned or the community, or I have no enjoyment whatsoever apart from flipping it, probably 7 times out of 10 it just turns bad, right? From Loopy Donuts to Galaxy Eggs to Mechaverse, I've liked the aesthetics, or I've liked the mission, or I've liked the story, or I've liked something about it. Something's resonated with me. So if it resonates with me, or you, or whoever genuinely, then it should resonate with other people. That's the kind of philosophy. in the whole buy what you like, right? Buy what you love, buy what you truly love. If you truly love something, then others will truly love that as well and pay big money for it. Just like art. If someone really, really wants an art piece, then they will buy it off you. They can also really, really love that art piece. That's the kind of mindset behind that, right? It's the equivalent of pre-IPO. Yeah, pretty much, Ken. Finally able to make it to a stream, says Christo. Awesome. All right, before we jump back into the comments, let's keep going. I get really distracted. Passive income, lose all your money. Here's why. So here's an interesting thread about passive income from Will. We know some NFT projects are going down the route of allowing passive income. So with every project coming up with a token, giving hopes to the promised land of passive income, is this really the truth? What do you need to be aware of? What would wipe your wallet? What to hold or truly take advantage of this DeFi plus NFT movement? 0.1, the genesis of this started by Cybercoins with their 10 banana yield per day for 10 days. Current price of bananas is $72 or $720 a day, 260K per annum, not too shabby for holding a JPEG. This is what really inspired the current movement of projects, all coming up with a token giving yield passive income to holders, many of which give 100% plus ROI per year. So here's a bit of a snippet. So you got zombie mice, stacked toads, meerkat millionaires, wicked ape bone club, anonymized. People are really good at copy pasting things. Token, daily amount, daily total, Cybercoins being the most, NFT floor, etc. NFT floor payback 1077. I don't know what that's supposed to mean. So Subducks giving $1, so $10 per day with their vault token. Okay, securities. Here we go. So this is a very well thought out thread. I can already tell by the word securities, right? The biggest risk of holding these NFTs is that any vehicles with promise of returns, royalties, sales, commission is deemed a security from the government standpoint, which means there will be a lot of regulators to go along with it. So at some point, these projects will be knocked on the door of and said, hey, you can't do this. If you go on it, we'll fine you, blah, blah, blah. How they'll react to that, if they're going to just stay anonymous and be like, we don't really care, it's up to them. But that's something you got to keep into consideration. Simply put, we don't want that. That's why legit projects would consult with lawyers to ensure that they position themselves well away from the blurry line. What makes something a security more for Howie's test? This is where the DAO turtles messed up, promising returns explicitly, falling into the definition of a security, which led to OpenSea delisting them. Interesting. So OpenSea actually ended up delisting DAO turtles because they fell under security. In the case with Cybercoins, they state clearly that one banana equals one banana. There is no economic value in them. It is not an investment. Nanas are purely a CK token for the ecosystem with governance and such. So where does this value come from? It is up to the community users to give it value. With nothing stops us from trading these bananas with each other OTC, and that's why there is a marketplace for it. So what gives the token value? Utility, yes, we know that. Cybercoins game loop, generate tokens per day, holding a genesis. In 60 days, you earn 600 nanas. With 600 nanas, you can breed into a baby Kong and a Kong VX. What a lot of projects are doing right now is just copying one another with no real thought or innovation as to how to keep users playing. Okay, token can be worth $100 per day, but if no one is willing to buy it at that price because no one is playing Believe anymore, then you screw it up with 10,000 token, which is what people mean when there is no liquidity. Tokenomics. So your product has utility, it's security, doesn't mean it's good to go. Don't think so. Here is a big one that 99% will fall in tokenomics. All right, here's the juicy part. How long is this thread? I'm not going to go through the whole thing, right? Tokenomics is simply the economy, supply, demand within the project. In real life, a country needs to balance their own economy by printing more money or buying back more dollars to counter inflation or to encourage growth. Just typing that out makes me scared. How the hell do you expect people running these codes, L, dog, cat, JPEG projects to understand the mechanics in developing a full-fledged economy within their ecosystem? And you talking about generational wealth? Wake up, please. Back to our prime example, Cybercoins, currently there is breeding which offsets it super well. But what happens after the breeding? 1,000 babies left to breed. So once that's finished, what's going to happen? Even with all the brightest minds in the industry building this project, They're going to be fighting to offset 10K Nana's production every single day. Because they got 1,000 Genesis Kongs, each doing 10 banana tokens. So they're basically effectively introducing 10,000 bananas every single day, which is 10,000 times, $50 is 500K. So they're putting $500,000 back into the supply. Where will the Sandbox game utility happening in December, which is around the same time as breeding should be completed? But what if users don't find value in this new model? The Sandbox launching delayed. What's going to offset this huge supply? If nothing, then supply goes up, demand goes down, dollars go down. Which is why there is Kong's tank in such a big brain idea. Which is why there is the Kong's tank is such a big brain idea to grant devs and other projects to utilize Banana, which will act as a hedge to those unforeseen situations. If all goes good, then Banana will be mooning with such a shortage. So the project that yields 2K a month for you now, what is their tokenomics? What is breeding is over, blah, 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 blah. My God, this is long. Final thoughts, all in all, not telling you to stay away from them. These projects are fun and exciting. Most will fail and crash. You will provide generational wealth. That's why the return is a no-brainer. So cliche as it sounds, high risk equals high reward. What's my play? Just don't be the last person to hold the bag, which means you just need to be one step ahead of others. How? Make sure you retweet this. That's how. So they're saying that don't be the last person to hold the bag. That just screams out pyramid scheme to me. Yeah. Total pyramid scheme in the sense of this whole don't be the last person to hold the bag, that it's all dependent on now I'm not saying that Kongs are a pyramid scheme. I'm saying this mentality is a pyramid scheme of building this thing up, building the structure up, and pulling it out, and then it all kind of falls like a deck of cards. How do you counter this? I just think that you just keep building. It's just like you got NFTs now, and you have a currency. You can go on to build that currency into every virtual world that you can. You can give it value in any way that you can. So I think there's a solution, but it does require a lot of big brain thinking, a lot of people mashing their minds together to come out with a tokenomic model that will keep value in the long term. Right. So is this guy is this person what's it called? Cyberkongs or not? NFTs made easy in 1 minute. We are a different breed who love NFTs. This is pretty cool. Good on you, man. See that he follows us. He follows the Medici. That's good to see. Anyway, let's keep going. That's it. That is it. All right, let's talk to you guys for a little bit. We're at 9:50. Who won the giveaway? Let's check it out. Miriam, I am. You won the Astro Friend. Congrats to you. We will send that out as soon as we can. All right, guys. Let's talk to you guys for a little bit. One of you guys said, Maddie, what happens to NFTs when ETH skyrockets? When ETH skyrockets, what happens to NFT? Now you would say Ethereum from $300 to $3,000 pretty much skyrocketed, right? We saw NFTs go from not being on the radar at all to suddenly being on the radar massively. So there's a lot of people that are saying, oh, wait a second, what if ETH goes from $3,000 to $20,000 or something hypothetically? What the hell is going to happen to the NFT industry? I think the NFT industry will continue to stay relevant. If ETH goes from 3,000 to, say, hypothetically, $3 million, then of course we're going to have a massive pullback in ETH. But $3,000 to $20,000, yes, I think we will have a pullback. We'll have a bit of a cleansing, and those items or projects that still demand high prices will continue to do really well. And this is why art is really good. This is why really, really blue chip items that have a very strong a desire for people to own them collectively, like CryptoPunks at the moment, are really good. So we're trying to wait for projects to fall into that sort of Hall of Fame section where it is truly desired by the masses to maintain its value if ETH moves, right? I think in the short term, what will happen is that we will see some dip in prices as people's attention goes back to the crypto markets. But then as sales start to get more and more bigger in the NFT sales, we start to see $5 million sales, and we start to see 10, 15, $20 million NFT sales. People will start pulling that money back out of crypto and throwing it onto the NFT space. That's exactly what happened earlier this year. And I don't see why it wouldn't happen again. I mean, the NFT space is exciting. No one can resist a holy crap, this art piece sold for $25 million. What the hell happened? It hits the mainstream news. Everyone comes rushing in and people throw money at it. People pull their money out of crypto and start collecting. That's what I think will happen. I think long term we'll be fine. I think short term it'll be a bit fluctuant. And if you're holding a project that probably won't last or has no reason that NFT to have value apart from just looking at that JPEG, which is fine. I mean, in terms of art and certain things where it's connected to an artist or a brand, it's fine. But if it's like, 10,000 randomly generated donkeys that look very, very similar to each other or just very basic, I don't see how that would hold value. I don't see how people would keep their money in there, then pull it out and put it into Ethereum or something else that seemingly is doing much better around them. So yeah, I think it'll be interesting. Wilder Wheels, what is that? Wilder Wells is a metaverse you should check out. Wilder World. Wilder World, is that what you're referring to? Just Anon? Yeah, I think I'll check it out. Brother, do another Habbo giveaway. Vino says, I might actually do that. Maybe on Friday. Any feedback on the humanoid? That's it. Humanoids. The humanoids actually went crazy. And yeah, humanoids has been definitely coming up on my radar. I think it's this one. Please don't be human. Super frustrating not being able to get the humanoids. Maybe we can roll it back. So is this? Click on these. Yeah. Okay. So these are the legit ones. I've noticed these kind of popping off quite a lot. So at 8,000 Ethereum traded, 0.8 Ethereum floor. These ones have been going crazy. So let's kind of find out why. But you're right, they are definitely going crazy. They're up 1 ETH. They've gone up to 1 ETH. Up from 0.15. So 0.15. They had a massive spike on on October 4th, and then they're sort of going sideways with decent volume. I feel like there's pump groups behind some of these projects. Probably not humanoid. Let's check out why this sort of thing would have happened. So let's see what's the hype about. Did they come out with some news? Another milestone achieved. A vital part of our V1 roadmap is a 20K donation to support a charity chosen by the community. We nominated, voted, tallied, and we are grateful to announce that the community has chosen St. Jude. Okay. Just to make it official, welcome to Banks, Jake Paul. Let's show them some love for holding. Jake Paul bought a humanoid. How did he buy a humanoid? Did he actually buy a humanoid, or did you send him a humanoid? 10,000 avatars, 5,300 owners. That's a good owner distribution. Rocking Eminem signature cap. The humanoids. Yep. Trying to figure out what Plus is about. All right, there's some price action. We're live on Nifty Gateway, so we got listed on Nifty Gateway. Okay. Dream come true. I've pinned this to my favorites. So what happened here? Actual day one when humanoid NFT dropped, and now it's my Noid gang is finally complete. Okay. All right. So what actually went down on this? What's the interesting thing about this? How do we join the daily giveaway? Says Ken. Pinned at the top. At the top, there's a Discord entry, and you go in there, and then you'll find this channel, Maddie Stream giveaways, and you can click this emoji, and you'll win something. So Mirror I Am won this one. All right. So I'm failing to figure out why this is doing so well. Maybe it's just the aesthetics really work with some people. Spike on the metaverse day. People who didn't mint. I got one. Any feedback on Persona World? Still very, very early. Only 26 have been released. Wilder World is more than NFTs though. Look at the car racing celebs pretty much. It's just good art. It's just good art, no real utility, says Jack. Just good art, and the Discord goes crazy. Thanks. All right, so it's just good visual, it's good aesthetics. Right, that's about it. So I wonder if it'll be an interesting one to watch to see what they'll do long term. But just good aesthetics. I'm not sure if it's going to cut it long term. But you know, I've been wrong many times, so I think who knows how this one's going to go. All right, guys, that's pretty much it. It is already 10 a.m. here in Australia. I have a bunch of stuff to do, so I'm going to cut it a bit short. But it's been a good chat with you guys, and we have many projects to go through. I think there's just no shortage of projects. I can probably spend another hour just going through new projects. But that's it, guys. For now, maybe I'll just do a segment just talking to you guys straight up on just whatever projects are trending. All right, guys, take care. Tomorrow, same time, we will be here talking about the NFT industry. I have a Twitter Spaces. Actually, let me just find the Twitter Spaces just really quickly before I leave. Jeremy from Delphi Digital. Where are you, Jeremy? Blogger. Where is this? All right, so I've got this thing coming up soon, 9 p.m. EST. I think that's an hour from now, maybe 2 hours from now, but 9 p.m. EST. We have the power of utility-based NFTs with Tom Bailu and myself talking about the Medici and impact theory and Delphi Digital. So what utility NFTs can do. So join into that Twitter space. I'll share that tweet on my Twitter, and you guys can join me there and we'll talk about some stuff. So take care. Thanks for joining, and we'll catch you guys tomorrow. Thanks for pressing the like button, whoever did. Yeah, we will talk soon, guys. Thank you so much. Take care.